I refuse to believe that Christmas is over yet, so I'm still wearing my onesie, and that's the way it's gonna be. Hey guys, so it's Savannah. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm coming at you guys with a story time today. So a little backstory on this story time. When I first started YouTube, which we are coming up on our 1-year anniversary, by the way, I want to say like one of my very first story times, I want to say it was actually like my 3rd story time that I ever did was this story time. And about, I want to say like 2 or 3 months after that, I took this story time down just because I knew I wanted to tell it in the future. But what I'm trying to tell you is if you are like an OG, like been here since day one, like type of thing, you may or may not have seen this story time before. I'm gonna tell it again just because it deserves to be retold in a way that's like articulate, makes sense, because personally I don't think it did. I also don't know how I'm really feeling about this whole hood thing, but I'm just gonna go with it. Let's just get right on into the story time. I just want to preface this video by saying I have the world's worst luck with cars. A lot of it is probably self-inflicted, but world's worst luck with cars. Like, let me just tell you, I have gotten into 5 car accidents. 5. 2 of them were my fault and like 3 were the other people's. I have had my car stolen once. I've had my car towed twice, and my car is currently in the shop right now because I lost the key for it, so I have to wait to get a new one. So if that just gives you any idea of how good I am with car situations, then I don't know. When I was in high school, I was like notoriously known for leaving my keys in my car unlocked. I don't know, I just never thought anything of it just because our school was gated, so like by the time school started, the gates closed, and I went to a super small school, and I was like, no one's gonna like take my keys, no one's gonna do everything. And everyone always told me, they're like, Sav, like your car is gonna get stolen Monday. Like, Sav, like someone's gonna come steal your car because you leave your keys in it. And I was always like, LOL, like STFU, you know? Like, I like never believed it because I was like, that is not gonna happen to me. It's never gonna happen to me. Like, I'm chilling, I'm good. Have you read the title of this story yet? So you guys may or may not know this about me, but about 2 years ago when I graduated high school and was starting my freshman year of college, I went to college down south. This all happened around like Cinco de Mayo, so like May 5th. Pretty sure that's Cinco de Mayo. If it's not, I sound so dumb. It was May 4th. It was the night before, and my school had gotten out really early, but I had stayed once everyone left just because I was living with my sister, so I didn't really have a move out date necessarily. I kind of just could go home when I wanted to. And there was this girl who was one of my best friends at the time. She also lived in the area of the school, so she didn't necessarily have to go home. She like moved out, but she was still like in the same area, so we hung out like all the time. For the sake of the story, we're called to go Megan. Me and Megan decided one night, we're like, all right, let's just go out and get wasted because it was one of our last nights that we were gonna be together. Actually, no, it wasn't. It was Cinco de Mayo. That's why we wanted to get wasted. Megan comes over to my house, and we were waiting outside for our Uber to take us to this cute little Mexican restaurant that we always went to. And as we were waiting outside, I realized that I had left my wallet in my car, so I had to run inside and get my car keys to come back outside and unlock it and grab my wallet. And once I did that, the Uber pulled right up, and my smart brain decided that I would just put my keys under the passenger seat of my car while it was unlocked. In my defense, they were completely out of sight, but clearly that did not matter because they were still in there. And so this Uber pulls up, we hop on the Uber, we go to the Mexican restaurant, we get pretty drunk, and we come back to my house. We probably got back to my house at like 9 o'clock that night. And this is what kills me because I genuinely don't know, like when I got to my house, my first instinct was not to see like, oh, let's check if my car got stolen. Like, I don't know, that's never my first instinct when coming home just because, well, now I lock my car, so it's not my first instinct. But back then, it was just never an instinct like, oh, let's check and make sure my car didn't get stolen. So I don't know whether or not the person who took my car had taken it by that point. And so me and Megan, we get back to my place and we continue to drink, continue to get more and more wasted because we were gonna go back out and we were gonna go hang out with our friends. So basically what ends up going down is we go back out and we don't get home till probably around like 1, I wanna say, 1:30. Again, have no idea if my car is missing or not because 1, I was wasted, 2, I wasn't looking for it. I didn't think I had to look for it at that moment. So then comes the next morning. Me and Megan, we wake up and we decide that we wanted to go get Starbucks. And how my room was facing at the time when I lived in this house, it was on the 2nd story. It was the room at the very front of the house, and it had this big window and you could look out and you could see directly onto the street, so I could always see my car. So me and Megan decided that we wanted to go to Starbucks and just get a coffee or whatever, and so I was like, oh yeah, like I'll drive, no big deal. And I opened the curtain and my car was gone. I wasn't panicking just yet. I was confused out of my mind, but I wasn't panicking just yet because sometimes my sister would take my car. Like sometimes if she needed it, she'd just take it, and sometimes she wouldn't even tell me. Like it was not a big deal, but I was just like, oh, maybe she took it. So I texted her and I was like, yo, like, did you take my car? And she writes back and she's like confused out of her mind and she's like, no, like, what do you mean did I take your car? And in that moment, Sav knew she fucked up. I knew that I just, oh yeah, it was not good. It was not a good situation. So what ends up happening next is I texted my mom and I just told her my car is missing. And of course she's like, what do you mean your car is missing? Like, look harder. The hood is coming off because it's stressing me out. Me and Megan, the first thing we did is we like went and looked around the town, looked around the city, called some of our friends and was like, yo, like this isn't some funny joke, like give me my car back. And they're all like, we don't have your car. And I was like, fuck. So we go to the police station, or at least like what we thought was the police station, because once we got there, it was just like out of a movie, you guys, I swear to God. So we walk into this like station and there's not a single person in there. There's not one person in this building. It is not a very big building. It's pretty small, and there's like 2 people that are supposed to be at the front desk that aren't, and it's like, click this button to call the front desk. You click the button and the phone that's sitting right in front of your face is ringing and no one's there to answer it. So we're walking out again to get into Megan's car to go back home. These 2 cop cars actually end up pulling up. They got out of the car and I was just like, hello, like welcome. I need your help. My car has been stolen. Do you want to know what their response was? Do you want to know what their initial response was? Have you looked in your driveway? What? Have I looked? No, I missed that part. I forgot to just look out my fucking street. Like, what? Not today. Yes, I looked in my driveway. No, my car wasn't there. Thank you very much. All right, well, like, we'll send someone out to your house and they'll be there within the hour. And I was like, okay, dope, perfect, thank you. That was at 11:45 in the morning. So the cop didn't show up to my house until 9:30 that night. 9:30 that night. 9 hours later, and this cop was having the time of his life. I made this cop say, because here I am, the young like 18-year-old, I was 19 at the time, the young 19-year-old who left her keys in her car and now her car is missing. Like, haha, that's hilarious. But I did do it to myself. Like, you know, I was the one that left my keys in my car unlocked, so I did have some of this coming for me. After he gives me about, I kid you not, 7 pamphlets on safe driving and safe security in your car, he leaves and basically tells me that they will call me if they see my car, if they find it, but until then, it's kind of a waiting game. Cars typically show up, or they either just get pulled apart and like their parts get sold, is what he was trying to tell me. So he took down all the information on the car and he left. So now I was just playing the waiting game. So now fast forward a week later. So it was, I remember it was a Thursday. It was like probably like 8:30 in the morning. And if you know me, you know I like to sleep. Sleep is like my thing. When I get woken up at 8:30 by a random number, I'm not gonna answer. So I remember I declined the call and then they called again. And I remember I declined it again and then they called again and I declined it again and then they called again and then a little light bulb in my head went off and it was like, Savannah, your car got stolen a couple days ago. I picked up the phone and it was this woman who had told me that they had found my car and I needed to go pick it up. It was on the opposite side of town, so I needed to go and pick it up, and that the cops were waiting at the scene and blah blah blah, all that stuff. So I get in an Uber and I go down to where the car was being held. Get this, so you want to know what happened to my car? I'm gonna tell you what happened to my car. I show up and it is a cop, and it's a guy and a girl cop. Girl's in the passenger, the guy's in the driver's seat. The girl was like, sweetheart, like, was your car like really messy before it got stolen? And I remember I was just like, no, it was not. I had actually just gotten it detailed. Why are you asking? She goes, oh, well, like, you might want to go take a look. I turn around and I walk over to my car and I look in the back and it is just like a dumpster threw up. There was so much trash in this car, it was sickening. Oh, still good. Oh, yeah, no. I wish I remember the name of the person who did it. I do not remember. I think I was in just such a state of shock. Like, I don't remember. The kid was 16. A 16-year-old stole my car. He was 16, bro, like 16. I remember once they gave me the key, I sat in the car. Once you get in, like, you're automatically high just because of all the extra like smoke that was in there. He hotboxed that car so many damn times. They gave me the keys and they were basically like, all right, like, here you go. And in my mind, I'm like, don't you need to like do something with this? Like, this is a fully contaminated car and you're just giving it to me. So I get in my car and I don't really think anything of it because I'm in such a state of shock. Cop was like, I'm gonna escort you out of this neighborhood because it's like not a good part of town, and we were also outside of the person who took its house, so that's not good. But I'm in the car and the cop pulls up right next to me and he rolls his window down and he like signals me to roll mine down. So I roll it down and he goes, I have kind of like a weird question to ask. And I was like, because this day has been so normal already, please ask your bizarre question. Homeboy goes, have you had sex in your car recently? Why? I was like, no, my car's been gone for a week. Why? And he goes, well, there's a used condom in the back seat. And I turn around and right before my eyes, there it was. There it was. Like, are you kidding? I get that their job was to just find it, but like, isn't this like, you're just gonna give it to me. So they drive me out of this neighborhood, right? And I remember I called my parents and I am like a mess. And my parents are basically just like, get everything that's yours out of the car, and everything that's not yours, just keep in it, and we will bring it to like a detailer and they'll like fix it all up and all that. I got home, and as I'm getting everything out of my car, I go over to the passenger side of it. And when they found my car and when it was given to me, it was found kind of on a side street again, but the passenger side was kind of in bushes and you couldn't really like get over to that side of it. I just didn't think anything of it because I wasn't told anything. Like, I don't know, they told me that the car was like in fine condition, other than the fact that it was just not at all. I am cleaning out my car and I go over to the passenger side, and I remember I opened the door and it like took me a second to open it. Like, it wasn't opening all the way, it was kind of jammed, and I remember I like pulled it harder and it opened and it made like this cracking noise, and I looked. My entire passenger side of my car had been totaled. I guess when he was just booking it on out of there when he first got it, he must have like hit a curb or something, because hello, he was 16 and he popped the tire because there was a spare tire on it. The side was destroyed. Like, it was awful. Like, it was so bad. At this point, I was just betting on the car to like explode at this point, because like that's like what we were leveling up to. So basically, long story short, after that, I drove this car to the place that I was getting cleaned at, and about a couple months later, my car was shipped back out to California, and I still drive it to this day. I love my car in all actuality. This is my first car. I've had it since I was like 17 and I love it. It's just such a good car. I don't know. I really, really love my car. And so I'm really happy that I still have it. But my car has been through the ringer, I will tell you that much. Alright, you guys, that was the end of this story time. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, all of my links are going to be at the end of this channel and in the description box below. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Savannah. I make videos 3 days a week, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. You should subscribe, join the family. I love you guys so, so much, and I'll be back in a couple days with a brand new video. Bye, guys.
I'm just trying to get to know